of the Open Community online meetings. Just to let you know, we will be recording the online meeting to put it on our websites, and we will put it on YouTube because that makes integration easier. So if you don't want your face or your name to be seen in these videos, you can change your name and switch off your camera. That's completely fine. We will use some screenshots for our dissemination purposes, just to let you know. And yeah, we're recording this. All right. So, fourth edition. We already had a couple of meetings and interesting discussions. And today we want to take a look at registration activation, because that was a topic that was always yeah, very important to everyone. One thing about networking, we used to do this in little introduction rounds, but my suggestion now would be that you can take the time during the meeting or after the meeting and go to this Padlet. And Owen, maybe you can share the link in the chat, and then you can create a new post there and say a couple of things about yourself, and leave your email address. Yeah, and this is how we could make sure that everyone can stay in touch. But let's not waste too much time in a lengthy introduction round, because we will also have breakout rooms, and yeah, we will get to talk in those. All right, so our topic for today, as I said, is basically how do we get people on board? How can we make sure that activation is effective, but also how can we ensure that the registration processes, especially on open, works out smoothly? And prior to this meeting, I talked a little bit to Kati, who works for Liquid, and she shared some of her knowledge with me of how they perceive registration processes and how to make them more effective. She can't be here today, otherwise she'd be giving us a little tour or something, but I will try to fill her role. So basically what she said, what the challenges regarding registration on Open are, it's basically getting young participants to register. It's not so much getting initiators to register and get familiar with the platform and the process, but to get the youth you want to reach to register and let them create personal accounts, because that's needed on Open to join the participation. And a lot of initiators perceive this as a real threshold. So that's how Liquid sees this. And they have quite a lot of experience, and they are also good at finding remedies for these challenges. So what Kati said, one of the most effective things is to be really transparent in your communication. About the benefits of a registration process. And on Open, the number one argument for the registration is that you can ensure privacy, because you can create private projects, you can create safe spaces for your participation. You can let your participants go under aliases, so they don't have to use their proper name, which is very important in certain projects. The registration also means that you can more easily prevent hate speech, and you also generate commitment and ownership, because people have to sort of make an effort to get in. So yeah, being clear about these advantages, at least from Liquid's perspective, helps a lot in order to motivate participants to yeah, to go through the registration process. And as we're talking about this, it's not that much work. You know, it's entering an email and then applying and setting a password. So it's not like a lengthy thing. But I think we are living in the age of convenience, and every second that a registration process requires is 1 second too long. So yeah, but that's the world we're living in. And another good idea to sort of get through this registration smoothly is ideally to have an offline session where everyone can register. So when you've got a group of young that you're meeting, I don't know, every month anyway, then use that time slot to quickly go through this, because in those offline sessions you can answer questions, you can make sure that everyone really uses a proper alias and not one that is not anonymous, and that can also be fun. And yeah, and right now we can't do things offline as we used to, but you can also do this on Zoom and just, you know, create little breakout rooms and make sure everyone gets on board. Um, and for single projects where you really want to make it as easy as possible for the participants to join, the initiator can also prepare accounts. So you just prepare email addresses for everyone and then create passwords and you hand them out to them. The disadvantage of this way of dealing with things is that then afterwards the participants would have to change the email addresses again. If you create them for them, they don't necessarily have access to the email accounts, and then yeah, that can be a little difficult. Another remedy would be to use QR codes, because that's something that young really find easy. So you have a super quick access. They just have to scan it, and then it goes faster than when they have to type in things. So to sum this up and to sort of get on a higher level, what we think you should keep in mind is that doing things together is fun. So go for these sessions where you set up accounts together. And then also keep in mind that every tool needs to be domesticated in some way. So it's always normal that at first you have a certain barrier that you need to overcome. You need to get a little familiar. Even if it's the most usable thing, you need to get familiar with the interface. And the other thing is there is no free lunch. So you're not, if it's if even if you're using a Google Doc that is for free, you're always paying with something. In that case, it's with your data. So the good thing about open and the more lengthy registration process is that there is not much of your data that you're giving away. You don't have to sign in with your Google or Facebook account. So that is especially field of youth work a real advantage. So that was the knowledge I wanted to share with you based on Liquid's experience, and now the idea would be to jump into a little bit of a group work session, because I know that all of you have experiences with activation and with registration, and the idea would be to use a collaborative tool, um, MindMeister, and Owen will send you the link um, through the chat, and you can all take a look at that. And maybe I can also just share my other screen so I can show it to you. 1 second. Okay. So, and you should be able to access this mind mapping tool. If you can give me a thumbs up, for example, Owen, or maybe David, that you can really reach this, that would be great. And the suggestion would be to split us in small groups, and then we can all discuss these two topics. Registration, I already said a couple of things about it, but also activation, like how do you really, motivate people and get them on board? And then we could go through the challenges that we're facing. And then by simply using the tab key on your keyboard, you can add an idea here, and then you can say challenge ABC, for example. And then if you want to add another challenge on the same level, just use the return key, and then you should be able to add another one, X, Y, Z. So it's tab when you want to go to add something that is underneath that category. So solution, ABC. And then if you want to stay on the same level, it's the return key. So enter, right, like this. Yeah, and then challenges, solutions, and open questions that you have and might want to discuss with all of the other participants of this meeting today afterwards. And yeah, I think, how many people are we today? We're not the biggest group ever. So I think 2 breakout rooms will probably be enough, and then we get to discuss a little bit. And I'd say we should probably take 20 minutes for this and yeah, and really get to discussing, and then we can take 15 minutes afterwards to share our ideas, and then we will see where we'll be. Sounds good? All right. So Owen, can you please send us into the breakout rooms? Thank you. Hello, everyone again. Did you all have a good discussion?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I joined one group, but I'm very eager to find out what the other group discussed. So maybe we can take the time and go through the main arguments together that we collected. And what I can do is I can share the screen, and then we can take a look at this together. Okay. Oh, can you see my screen now? Yeah, cool. And I'm going to make this a little smaller. Is this working out? Somehow not. Now it's a little smaller. Okay. Well, obviously, I'm interested in what the other group did. So do you want to start and tell us a little bit about what you discussed? Yeah. I know that Anita and Marice, you were in that group. And yeah, I can see your faces. But yeah, go ahead. And you can just tell me where I shall navigate on them.
Okay, I will just start with the registration because I would like to add some points of view from the Slovenian Association of Friends of Youth that used OPIN, and they started communicating with the TV show and about the usage of the new online platform. So it could be as simple as possible, and they decided to make a tutorial. I put the link there so you can see how they deal with it, how to register on the platform and how to use it. And they used SVIT, free video editor and screen recorder. So it took a while for them for the preparation of the tutorial, but it was very useful. So you can check that link when you have time. And this was also sent to all the mentors in school, and they showed this on this TV show on national level, the national TV, for users from elementary school pupils. They even recorded how to use the platform on mobile phones. So this is one of the solutions. as they already said in the first webinar, the whole story and the activation was played by the mentors in school who motivated children for participation.
Yeah, that's a super cool idea. So it was a simple screencast video, basically, what they created. Okay, yeah. I think that's very wise because it's a very intuitive way of showing things, and you just click through and then you can see how the process runs. Yeah, thanks for sharing this. And the link is in the mind map as well.
Yes.
Okay, any other things you discussed in your group?
Yes, more. It was on activation.
Okay, I'm gonna move to the other side.
Okay, from this map, it's a little bit confusing what we said. Okay, it's very important for activation is online campaign. Also media, TV shows that young people use. Also to have support facilitator or mentors, that's someone that's between the initiator of the project and the young people, someone that's that these young people know and trust. I think that's very important.
Okay.
Also, okay, can someone else here add from our group? Now I don't see exactly what was our part. Also, following up on OPIN discussion. It's also very important for activation.
So that means when you're already on open and there is something happening, that you really make sure it stays an organic discussion where people react to each other.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and also means that whatever young people suggest during the discussion is reflected in the final results, but made sort of seen visible whenever we finish the e-participation process. So young people feel the ownership that's their work, whatever they had ideas during the process really matters. And regardless of sort of whether those ideas were taken or not.
So it's not really the good moderation, or it's good moderation, but also making sure that the results count and disseminating them and showing that, okay, this is what happened on open and now it's going to this other place and it's going to be used.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Valuing participation.
Yeah. Cool.
And activation is easier when you have already established a network of young people or a network of mentors. That's very important. When you start from the scratch, it's really hard.
Yeah. I mean, we also discussed that aspect, multipliers, networks. How do you tap into that resource? Okay. Right. Do you have any other points you want to share? Otherwise, we can also jump to the other group and add aspects.
Yes, I would add only one thing, which is, I think, one of the importance, how to present to the young people, or somehow how we need to give an advantage for using open, because as we discussed, they are active, like they are using the social media and everything. The most important concept in this will be how we will present the open, and how we need to do it on very interesting and engaging way, and also like to give advantage of the platform, and to see and to present like all its features, and yeah, in the activation, that is the presentation is the most um, how to say, the most important.
Yeah. We also discussed that in our group a little bit, like stressing the user experience and making sure that young people get to see the advantages of a platform, and then also show it to them and let them find out whether they like it or not. I think that was Tina's argument, right? Yeah. Okay, but that's very organic. I would ask the other group to add some other things now. Yeah.
Maybe I can add just one thing that it's very important in activation is that we answer to young what will they have out of it, what's in it for them. This is something I didn't mention before, and I think it's very, very important to activate them.
Okay, that links to the whole showing the results and effectiveness, but I'm going to create another comment here. And while I'm doing this, I'm inviting the other group to share some of their thoughts.
I think it's already written, Max.
Okay, sorry.
Above. Yeah.
Then I'm not going to add anything. Yeah. Who wants to start? Well, Simon, you shared a lot of your experiences. I think that was super interesting. I think Simon is absent right now.
No, I'm here. I had my mic mute.
Yeah. That always takes a moment.
Yes. So I think we were, because I need to remember because what were. Okay. So I think we started off by looking at what if OPIN is promoted amongst young people, if they're aware of the platform and that exists, and how we can make it more popular like other social media platforms like Facebook or Google and things like that. From my end also, I posed the question if it's a question of having a popular platform or more of actually promoting and encouraging young people to actually participate. So that was a like a question from our end, and I also put it in the Maltese perspective that it might be a Maltese thing that young people tend to hold back and not participate that much when these opportunities arises. And then sort of like Max asked some question about a project we did, and one of the salient points was the trying to use different ways, and I think also it was already mentioned of different ways of reaching out to young people and trying to engage before one should start a project, try to find partners that will help in the dissemination and promotion of the project itself, interacting with young people during the project, and also trying to reach out to young people individually. And I shared our experience that some of our youth workers were, whilst interacting with young people online, they would mention that there's this project, OPIN project going on, and trying to encourage them to participate. But I also explained that it was that though we were communicating with a number of young people, that in actual case, few young people came back to the OPIN project and participated. But also, I think it has to do with the type of project one is doing. For example, our project was text reviewing, and I think it is a bit of a challenge to review a text, especially if it's written down by technocrats already. So that's a bit. So I don't know what. Yeah.
Well, that was already quite a lot. I think you covered this whole idea that you need to go for a hybrid approach or multi-level, not only choose one strategy, but go for your network, use social media, but also be in direct contact. Yeah, make sure that youth workers can actually talk to people about the project. So yeah, that was quite interesting. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just going to add that when it comes to challenges, it depends on the type of participation project. I mean, like there are drier projects or less interesting or less appealing topics than others. I mean, like maybe for some people, national youth strategy sounds super exciting, but maybe other things that a skate park is actually something they really want to talk about more. Dry versus exciting topics. All right. Anyone else from this group who wants to add something? I don't see anything. Tina, I think we covered most of our points, right? Otherwise, I would say let's stop this here. I think it's great that we're collecting so many ideas, and then we can move on to our wrap up. And the idea would be to quickly, I'm going to stop the screen sharing here, to quickly collect what we learned today and what we want to learn more about. And maybe Owen can share another link in the chat. Oh, there it is. And I'm going to share my screen quickly. There we go. And then you can see this Padlet. And then you can just very quickly give your general feedback and tell us what you learned today. And most importantly, what you want to learn more about, because that is what we can base the next meetings on. So if you say, I want to learn more about, I don't know, about advertisement on Facebook, then write down that is what you want, and then we can take that into account and yeah, sketch the next sessions accordingly. And yeah, I'm going to stop this now so you can do it yourself.
And for the people that may have difficulty accessing, there's a password for the Padlet.
Oh yeah, it's participation, no capital letters. Thanks, Owen.
And maybe some of them didn't sign up with their data, who they are, and the email. Maybe they can do that till the end of the webinar, so we know the participants.
Yes, that's a great idea. If you're willing to do that, go for it. I think for us it's great to stay in touch and exchange ideas. So okay, now we have a couple of minutes left, and I can see there are some comments about what you learned and what you want to learn more about, and we will take that into account and make sure we can cover this in upcoming meetings. And now I'll just share my screen with you again to tell you a couple of organizational things. Okay. Can you see this now? Okay, so we did this. We talked about the learnings. And now I just want to let you know that you can also go on the Open Community Forum, which is a project on Open. And Through this forum, you can continue the discussion on various topics. You can ask questions, and then other people will answer to that. So that's a useful tool, and there are already a couple of things happening in that open project. So Owen, if you could put that link into the chat once again, I think that would be helpful. And then I want to tell you about the next online meeting we will be holding. So that will be in 1 month, Tuesday, 23rd of March, same time, same Zoom link. And we will take a look at collaborative writing, but also text review on OPIN. And Simon will present to us his experiences because he collected various experiences when they drafted the national youth strategy. So I'm quite excited about finding out more about this. And I think text review is really an important topic. And yeah, we will take a look at that. And yeah, I think that was it for today. Thank you so much for joining the discussion. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in March again.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye bye.
Goodbye.